Welcome back for some more Darktide loss analysis. I know it has been a minute, my good friends. I've been, did you know I have a real life? And I've actually been busy with that a little bit, but don't worry, I'm back. And today we have a submission from Ballhole, who, if you can tell by his FOV here, is a highly skilled player and using a lot of mods. So yeah, he's got a number of hours in the game, but even he loses games from time to time. And boy howdy, we have seen our fair share of losses in this room right here on Archivum Sycorax. Starting off with a really nice corner shove there, employing those tactics I mentioned the other day, where you use that corner to distance yourself from the burster. Even if the burster is still within range of you, the corner will block the explosion, so you saw him going around there to be safe. We've already taken a little bit of chip damage here, and not to spoil anything, but I do know how this goes, and chip damage ultimately ends up being the problem here. And this is sort of an example I want to point out where these are all pretty skilled players, it would seem, but their coherency, their team play is what ultimately unravels them. So let's watch, and we're getting towards that scary part right here. As soon as you get up to the end of this part right here, near that pillar, when we're about to go into the next room, that is where this is going to kick off. It's normally a good big spawn point for lots of enemies. Ballhole using the shovel here. I want to say this is the Mark 5. Is that the right mark? I can't ever remember get my mark straight, but I think this is the Mark 5 Brute Brainer. Good shovel, but hey, it's no bully club. But I gather that people do get tired of using the same weapons over and over again. So if it's anything like all the games that I have on this map, we are gonna get a horde right here. This is why I don't really love the Ripper gun. It's like, it would take longer to pull out another weapon, but you could get that kill in like way less ammo effectively. Oh, the twins are here. Wouldn't you know that the twins are going to be part of the ultimate downfall of this team, but not the, not the immediate nail in the coffin that they sometimes are. They were doing the right thing here, backing up, just making some distance, making some space, being aware that we are in a really disadvantageous spot because every hit is going to hit the whole team or the whole area. We're getting rid of these threats. Man, that ranged twin is all over us. They keep knocking our shields off. We have to be very careful here because, yeah, our shields are not full. But there we go. We got her toughness down. Time to go to town on her. Good stuff. Throwing in that uppercut there, the extra stagger. Man, dude, that ranged twin wants us so bad. That's kind of annoying. It's like the ranged twin hasn't been shooting anybody else the whole time. It's just picking on us. Okay, we got a trapper in the mix. I think the trapper got dealt with. Hard to tell. Man, we are just getting picked on. I mean, it's being an Ogren, right? Okay, so starting right here is where we start to get really spread out, but this is a difficult room, especially when the specials start coming from everywhere. The reason this room is so difficult is because of how spread out the spawn points are. Enemies can spawn at 3 of the 4 corners, and they can come at you from pretty much all angles. They can climb over the walls behind you and all sorts of stuff. So we are taking way too much damage right here. That was an easy rescue by our team, and they left us on the ground there for far too long and caused us to tank a bunch of fucking damage. So now we are almost dead from corruption. If I were in Ballhole's case right here, I would just be dropping that health kit. There's no reason not to at this point. Yeah, we're not missing a terrible amount, but remember that, if you don't heal, you might die, because all he has to do is lose just a little bit more of his HP to corruption, say by a burster. A burster would instantly kill him from this point, if a burster went off in his face, or even one of these mines and he wasn't golded up. So I would be healing just to give myself that tiny little bit of buffer room, and hey, maybe I'll survive more than one attack. But we survived our twin encounter. We're just missing a good bit of health here. Setting off some mines, very quickly stepping in it and stepping out. Alright, and you might think it's clear sailing from here, but we know, because we have foreknowledge, that this is a loss. So what I would be looking for is, I guess someone used that green stem that we had a little while ago. We found a green stem over there right when the twins got called in. I guess someone used that at some point. But my worry here is how spread out we are. And this is exactly what I'm worried about. Ragers are terrifying when you're on low HP, because remember, on Havoc difficulties, melee attacks directly damage your health in corruption. They do a percentage of their damage as corruption as well. So, like, in even just a millisecond here, if one of these Ragers gets a couple quick attacks in, it could drop us, because it'll hit us like this. If we take 1 or 2 hits here, maybe even just 1 hit, that could put us down, like, permanently, because we have such high corruption. So yeah, I'm just really worried about this. Nice reaction time on that, but we did lose a teammate. I have no idea what killed him. He was right beside us, so he must have gotten just like wombo comboed by some Ragers. Again, another instance where, like, you know, that corruption, I'm pretty certain he was pretty high corruption, and he just got knocked down when he already had 1 wound worth of corruption, insta-death. So corruption is super dangerous in Havoc. It's one of the reasons, again, we're getting picked up. Okay, now I'm getting worried because we are pretty far from our teammates and we don't have taunt, so regenerating toughness is a challenge. And we've got a trapper sneaking up on us. I don't remember how this one actually ends, but I remember everyone getting picked off 1 by 1. Oh boy, we are super low here. So I love Charge. Charge is a good ability, but it is nowhere near as strong as Taunt is, especially into a situation like this where you're surrounded by 1,000,001 scattered gunners and they're going to pick you down. You just can't get as much toughness back over time and sustain yourself. But he's doing all right here. I'm just worried. I'm very worried. I want that health kit, man.
There are no innocents down here.
Okay, and so now we just got to clutch. We got to get to the next room. There'll probably be 1 more boss between us and that. I feel like I would be hurrying more, but that's just me. Oh boy, that is a pretty big horde, and we got some Ragers in there. We really can't make a single mistake because we don't have any gold toughness here. So remember, if we take a melee hit, we have to heal the toughness, because if we take 2 melee hits back to back, that could very nearly put us down depending on the size of the melee attacks. So now we're in a really tricky spot. Look at that shove, by the way. That's a great example of how shoves actually do a cone around you, or a circle around you. He was able to actually hit that guy without even looking at him. And here's exactly what I'm talking about. Look how quickly Ragers can nearly kill you. He's almost dead with that, and there he is dead. So yeah, we got chipped down over time, and really a lot of that came down to a very lax set of teammates who didn't get us out of our trap in time. We took a ton of damage at that point. So let's rewind and catch that again. We were doing fine through here. Doing fine. It's once we're over on this other side of the room. Here it is. No, after this. So we got knocked down here, which really isn't necessarily our fault. One of the most dangerous things about the twins is that the melee twin gets up in your face and is all flashy with her sword play, but then in the background, the ranged twin is just kind of walking around, and he is just like looking for that pick. And so many times what will happen is you'll get two-pieced, where the ranged twin will hit you with a shot, and shots from the ranged twin always nuke your toughness. So you'll see here, he is, let's see if he gets back to full toughness. No, not there, but where is it? So he's got full gold toughness, boom, shocked down to no toughness. So thank God he had gold toughness there, because that did protect him. But look what happens. He gets hit with the plasma gun, and it breaks his gold toughness, and he takes another hit at the same time, because gold toughness protects your health 100%. So what happened here, even though you can't see it, is that he actually takes this hit from the plasma, and then you also hear, just for a millisecond, that there is a incoming melee attack, like back in this left corner. Listen. You hear it? And it just happens that this millisecond that he gets hit with this plasma gun, it knocks all of his gold off, and then he takes that melee attack, which does a bunch of fucking corruption to him. Now, this doesn't ultimately end up mattering that much, because we immediately take the down, which only gives us that much more corruption, and then we get these health bars back. But it's just really frustrating when you have full gold toughness and something like that happens. So it's pretty much unavoidable. You have to have good visibility on that ranged twin, and this is where we love Bubble, and honestly we love Smoke Grenade, because Smoke Grenade just makes the ranged twin stand around like a dumbass. Okay, coming back this way, and this is where the critical error occurs. Now, this is on ball hole to some extent as well, because this trapper was, I mean, pretty obvious, right? I hear the trapper. I would be looking, personally. There it is. I hear it. It's coming right across this thing here. There it is. Okay, and yeah, so I think what happened there is we got stuck in the charge animation for the weapon, and maybe we were out of dodge charges. What actually was going on with the dodge there? Why didn't we dodge? You know, everybody, yeah, no, we had plenty of dodges. I think we were just going into charging the other weapon swing and just maybe didn't perceive that fast enough. I mean, hey, everybody misses a reaction every once in a while. With full gold toughness here, this shouldn't be too much of a punish because look how close your allies are, and one of them already shoots a plasma gun in. So really, we shouldn't take any damage. Right here, we're almost getting out of it, but this guy positions himself in such a way that he puts all of the enemies around himself. Like, what if he was standing here instead, where there's no enemies, and he could stand with his back against these boxes, and instead he stands in the middle of all these enemies and immediately gets his block broken, so he gets staggered and he loses the res, or he loses the net clear, even though it only takes a second. One thing that players don't appreciate a lot of times is that when you are reviving, your character counts as blocking, and your character is more efficient at blocking when they are blocking from the front. So if you are blocking within what is considered your weapon's block cone, like effective block angle, you take less stamina consumption for the block. So if he positioned himself here instead of here and faced this way so that he's facing towards the enemy that are attacking him, he's going to ultimately have more stamina to use and therefore get the res get the pickup a little bit faster. But the fact he doesn't get out here means he ultimately just gets wailed on even more. And I really do feel like even after that first one got broken, like look at the other teammate who is just getting ready here. A lot of killing stuff going on before we're getting our ally out. You really, really, really want to get your allies out super fast for that reason. So we took a tremendous amount of corruption damage here, and yeah, that sucks because, I mean, you can't get that back unless you have some way to heal it on the team like a zealot. So that really sucks. That was a 2 misplays, just not being speedy on that pickup when we had every chance to be. And then the culminating factor that wipes this team out is just being separated and not being aware. Let's see what happens to Deadliest, who I believe is the first one to die. He's right by us here somewhere. I know this is right around when he dies. Okay, so there he is right here. He's golded up, he's a veteran, but look how high his corruption is, right? So he's got 56 HP and his corruption is almost at the halfway mark. So what this means is if he takes like even one melee hit when his toughness is broken, that will do enough damage. One melee hit does like 65 or more damage to your HP, and this is why it's, you know, Havoc is so scary for veterans and psychers. If his gold falls off and he takes 2 melee attacks, the first one will drop him down and give him enough corruption that he loses his first wound. The second one will kill him, and it'll kill him outright. And I guarantee that's almost certainly what happened, because there's so many ragers here. It only takes one of them to hit you a couple of times. Here he is. Let's watch him. And where is he? Where is he? He's on our right here. This is him. So, okay. So his toughness got broken by these gunners over here. And then he gets hit like a couple of times here. It must be by one of these ragers. This is him swinging his power sword. I think he freaks out and a rager just goes to town on him, cuts him up instantly. That's the danger of ragers. And yeah, like ragers are one of the scariest enemies on Havoc because they can hit you like 3 times for free, which means they're going to break that toughness and they're going to hit your health directly more times than not. Still a really nice push. I like to watch that every time. And then we lose our second player. Doing what? I think what happens here is this guy might get headbutted off the edge. Look at where he is, and there is a plague ogre on the map. So let's listen and hear if there is a charge notification that lets you know the plague ogre is charging. Yeah, hear the charge. Hear the charge. I think he got headbutted or uppercut by this plague ogre. Or no, he actually got hit. So maybe he does just get like straight killed. I don't know. He takes a hit here. Takes a hit and then takes another hit. No, he just got meleeed to death by something over there. Okay, I was really hoping he got knocked off the edge. That would be really funny. But yeah, it looks like he got a couple of melees back to back. There's something I want to kind of peek on him real quick. Oh, he is using cooldown reduction curios, so that's good. Yeah, I was looking to see if maybe if he had cooldown reduction, he might have had that shout up in time. But yeah, he gets picked off, and then our last guy, Drobocop, is the last one to go down, and we just get picked off by there's just too much stuff, right? Havoc is a very, very challenging mode because it is designed around the assumption that you have all 4 players up. On a lot of maps, if you don't have enough killing per second, you're just not going to be able to clear the amount of stuff it throws at you. I think it was a bold choice to like dilly-dally in this room, especially when you don't have gold toughness. Gold toughness, as I was talking about in my video the other day, it really allows you to outlast the enemies because you can take multiple hits back to back without taking any health damage. Without that, you have to play perfectly or it becomes a war of attrition where you have to take one hit and then get all that toughness back and then take one hit and then get all this toughness back. Or else you're gonna take a bunch of health damage over time. We have very little health to work with to start with. So I think what I would be doing here if I was in this situation is, I mean, fuck it. I think we full send it and we try to make it to this res point and get our other 2 allies up because they have the gold toughness, right? They have 2 shouts. If you can get one of them up, and we just had a full boss, right? So the game can't summon that much more on us. If we can get one of them up, we can get the second one up by necessity because they have that shout. And the respawn point is only through this hall right here, even though the part is tricky. But we do have charge available, which can get us a big, big distance gap to get to that res. And we have an Arbides who could be using their dog to CC as well. I think that not going directly for it here and getting... perhaps just being too sure that we could fight our way through was a mistake. But... other than that, I mean, it's good play, but this just goes to show that, like, you know, simple mistakes and not being grouped up together very tightly is a punishing for anybody. Not helping your allies as soon as possible and not playing in a tight coherency. Because in this situation up here, where we lose our friend Deadlaugh here, look at we've got Drubocop and Deadlaugh here. But what happens when this Plague comes in is our team splits up right here, right? And so we've got a guy here who has a shout in 10 seconds. And if we kept these people together, we could have used that shout to prevent a lot of damage from going on our team. Let's even see if it gets up before this guy. Oh no, he dies even before that. So I mean, but it would have helped. It would have helped getting rid of some of this stuff. Getting separated like that means there's less killing going on. It means that enemies can pile up and annihilate you. But yeah, getting picked up one by one. A tale as old as time, guys. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this analysis. And keep submitting them. I'm getting back to doing more of these things. misteretide@gmail.com. Thanks for watching. Have a good one. Bye.